So it was you committed to Florida State obviously a while ago. Your legacy with your father, your uncle. Can you just talk about like what this school means to you personally?
So I came out of Florida State fan out of the womb. I've always worn that garnet and gold, and I've always loved Florida State. So it's always had a special place in my heart. And growing up, I always thought I wanted to come here. And then about 9th grade hit, and I was like, you know what, I want to do my own thing. I started getting recruited a little bit. I was like, I went to my dad's bedroom, was like, hey, Dad, I want to do my own thing, and he respected me for it. Went throughout the recruiting process, and Florida State, Coach Norvell and Coach Dugan, they jumped on me first. They were real with me. They made me feel wanted. So, I think it was about a year later I committed, and yeah, I do. I've always loved Florida State, but it's Coach Norvell. I mean, yeah, my dad had a little factor in that, but it's mostly Coach Norvell.
Continuing along with that, Coach Norvell recruited you as an individual, though, right? Not as a Seminole legacy, son of a former player?
No, yes, sir, you're right. He did recruit me as an individual, and that's what made me like it even more because, I kind of was steering away from here because I'm like, I don't want to come here just because my dad went here. I want somewhere that wants me for me. And, but first real meeting I had with Coach Norvell, we was in his office, and, it was after a camp, and he said, and my dad was out of the room. He said, listen, he said, I can't offer kids because of their dads. I'll lose my job. He said, I want you for you. He said, I respect your dad, and he helped build this place, but I don't care what he did. And that meant a lot to me. That really meant a lot to me. And I went home and thought about it, and, I didn't commit. I mean, I committed not long after that conversation because I've always loved Florida State, but I was steering away because I wanted to do my own thing.
Sure. Camdon, can you talk about your relationship with Kai Bates? He talked about you last week, so him and some of the other guys in the Tribe 24 class that are already here.
Yeah, so me and Kai, that's my guy, roommate, and we're tight. We kind of just hit it off like that. I've communicated with several guys before we got here throughout the years that like us has been committed. I didn't speak to Kai till Miami, and we didn't even speak that much in Miami because he had things he had to do, I had things I had to do, different positions. We were always moving. So, but I think he said this too. We got the same type of morals. We got the same goals as a human being, not just as a football player. And we enjoy kicking it. But so me and Kai, we're tight. Me and BJ, other receiver, and we call him Weezy. Wayne McCoy. We got pretty similar schedules, so we're always doing the same thing at the same time. But honestly, I feel like this is a real tight-knit group as a 24 class, especially for guys who only been together really a month. I feel like I've known these guys for a much longer time. So, I feel like this is a really special class.
Is there, the fact that your dad was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and all the success he had, was there pressure that came with that, getting on the football field when you were younger, or did you ever deal with that at all?
I think so. I would say so, yes, sir. Dad was, I think he was the #1 receiver in the nation out of high school, something like that. And, I don't think half of his records hasn't even been broken in the FHSA for Florida. So, coming behind that, I feel like there's a little bit of pressure, but it made me want it more. It made me want to be better than him. And I feel like me and him are very different when it comes to, like, between the lines, like our game. But at the same time, it just motivated me, and he wants me to be better than him. So I appreciate him, just pushing me and just kind of talking me through what his time was, and I'm blessed to have a role model that's kind of been through what I'm going through right now. And getting here, I thought, it's all different. He don't know, and having conversations with him on the phone. He knows what I'm going through. It's like, yes, it's changed, but at the same time, it's still it's football. I mean, it's not going to change entirely.
Whether your dad went here or not, he was a Division I college receiver at a very, very high level. how early did he get, that's an advantage if you're going to be a receiver yourself. How early was he working with you? When did you become a receiver? Did you ever play other positions?
So I was a running back till 8th grade. I always played running back. Literally, you don't really throw the ball. You can't, O-line, quarterback. So I've always played running back. And he was my coach till about I was 10 years old. And I'd get the ball 3 or 4 times a game because I'd scored 3 or 4 times, and he couldn't look bad. He couldn't give me the ball no more. So then I was running back till 8th grade, and actually I played a linebacker in middle school, and I was a primarily defensive player because my middle school team was stacked, and I was the only 7th grader who actually got playing time. So I played defense because I wanted to play, And so 7th and 8th grade I played defense. I won Defensive Player of the Year 8th grade. I know it's just middle school, but at the same time, I didn't truly play receiver until I got into high school. So that's when I transferred over to Swanee during all the COVID and everything. And, I've always wanted to play receiver, and that's what I felt like I would do the best at because I'm, a little small to be running back. And, I was fine at defense, but that's just, I don't want to touch the ball. So I really had that summer going into 9th grade, me and him worked a lot because he had worked with me with speed and stuff and cutting and stuff, but not truly receiver until probably 9th grade. And, we had a lot of work to do that summer. And, he's every night after Friday, we're staying up to 1, 2 in the morning every Friday night. We're talking about the game. He's, he was like my secondary wide receiver coach. And, I everything he's told me I've took into consideration and just modeled my game after that.
Oh, you mentioned the importance during recruitment of, not being compared to your dad, being, wanting to be recruited for yourself and, your individuality in that. Coming here now at Florida State, finally being there, how much more important is that? And just, creating your own game and creating your own individual self here?
Like I said, I love my father, but at the same time, that's one of my main goals while I'm here to just, do my own thing. And I know it's like, well, why'd you come here if you wanted to do that? But, I love Florida State. I love Tallahassee. There's no place I'd rather want to be. And so, I was like, well, I'm just going to have to – I'm going to deal with it because this is where I want to be. And, guys know that. The coaches know that. So, I appreciate them, kind of just understanding that. And, we talk about pops and stuff, very regularly. But, it's – they know that I want to just do my own thing and be my own guy.
What is your relationship with Coach Dugan? It's like both as a person who you're familiar with from growing up and now as your coach.
My relationship with Coach Dugan is very well. So I've probably known him for 4 years now because he offered me back in the end of my 9th grade season. And, me and him have been very tight since then. Communicating over the phone for several years, coming up here a couple times a year, every year. I think he's gone to a couple of my games, a couple of my practices. And, he was different to me than any other receiver coach that recruited me. He never started out with football. It was always, how you doing? How's the fam doing? How's your relationship with the Lord? We disciple with each other. Even now, he's busy as heck. Recruiting. He's still calling me up while he's on the road. When he's got a chance. How's it going? Are you taking care of business? Everything. And kind of like just like another father figure while I'm away from home. And I cherish that because I'm still young, so I still like guidance. I would still love guidance. And so, me and Coach Dukes, we're tight, and I appreciate just the type of coach that he is and, the relationship that I have with him. So that is another huge reason why I'm here.
With the receivers that you guys lost from last year's team, big shoes to fill, and I know you weren't in the receiver room with those guys, but, what's the mentality of that group right now, just in terms of, is there excitement about all the opportunities that are there, or kind of what's the vibe of that room?
There is excitement about the opportunities that are coming, but also I feel like the vibe is we got work to do because, like you said, we do have big shoes to fill. But, you know, we got guys that have been here for a couple years, and I can tell that, you know, they're trying to learn things that they haven't really had to do before because, you know, they're the older guys now. They're looking to be the number 1 and number 2 receiver for our team. So, you know, the guys are motivated, and it makes me motivated. And, you know, I want to learn from them, and I just want to, you know, the tendencies of the offense and, like, you know, what they do to, you know, just help themselves out. Like, I'm just trying to learn from them, and, you know, the guys have been very welcoming, so I appreciate that. But, no, the vibe is that we got some shoes to fill, but I feel like we got the guys that can easily fill that shoes.
Gordon? When Coach Norvell talked about you on signing day, I think the first word he used was speed. How would you describe your game for the people that haven't seen you? What are you bringing to the offense?
You know, I feel like I can never be put in one spot. I feel like I can play outside, inside, you know, just wherever coach wants to use me. You know, I don't want to be stuck to one thing. But I mean, of course, I'm gonna do whatever coach tells me. You know, I'm gonna go by that. But I came here in sophomore year, and you know, you come here, you do the camps, you know, the drill stuff, and you run the 40, and I think sophomore year is like a 4.4, and then junior year is like a 4.3. I haven't ran a 40 since the junior year. Had a little surgery ended my junior year, but you know, still feeling quick. I think just him, you know, trying not to be too boastful, but him saying that, I think just he's watched my film, and when I got breakaway speed, whether it's, you know, trying to get open or when I already have the ball. And, you know, I know college is a different level of ball, so it's going to be a little different than high school. But, you know, I feel like that is probably one of my biggest assets.
Jordan?
Can you talk about your decision to enroll early, how hard that was when you knew you wanted to do that, and also just how your transition has been, you know, as a college student, your first month in Tallahassee?
I thought about it for months because, you know, I love where I live. I love home. I love my family. And I play baseball, so, you know, I'm missing my senior season of baseball for this. But, you know, I'm a tad old for a 2024 high school graduate. And so I feel like it's time, you know. I feel like every single one of y'all, you know, when you get to the point where you're fixing to leave out of your house, you and your dad or you and your parent, you know, you're kind of butting heads. You know, you just feel like you're kind of too old to live in your house. I feel like I wasn't getting too much out of my high school classes. I was just, you know, trying, you know, dozing, sleeping. I was ready. I think also me being committed for so long made me anxious. I'm like, I'm ready to get there. So when I was presented with the opportunity, and I'm thankful that I had a mother that looked ahead of this when early in high school. She's like, just in case, I'm not saying you have to do it, but we're going to get you the classes to where if you want to, you can. She said that my freshman year, so I'm blessed for that. And you know, when they asked me, I think it was probably a little less than a year ago, I was like, yeah, I want to do it. And, you know, like I said, it does stink because you miss your family. That's like a couple less months that you have with your family, friends, high school, baseball. But, you know, I definitely feel like it's worth it because I'm enjoying it. I feel like I'm learning so much, which I feel like there's a good amount of us are early enrolling, but still, it's just more time before the season that I'm getting to just spend here, get to know everything. But between the coaching staff, between the football coaches, the strength coaches, between the academic specialists, between everyone in the building, just the older players, I mean, it's been a pretty smooth transition. I'm thankful for everyone that's, you know, because I can tell that they've put a lot of work into just making it easy for us and, you know, not too overwhelming, and it hasn't been. And it's been very good. I'm really enjoying my time in Tallahassee so far.
Like, what makes somebody a really good receiver? I mean, there's a lot of guys that have size or speed or hands, but like, what are the nuances that help a receiver separate themselves?
So me and one thing that my father really always embarked on is, you know, first off, you got to catch the dang ball. You got to catch the ball, and you know, so that's one thing that I really kind of just focus on. Never, ever, ever drop a ball. and then just creating space. No matter whether you got to use a move to do it, whether you just got to run. I mean, just kind of dumbing it down. I just feel like, if they throw it to you, catch it, and then just create space. I mean, at a simple standpoint, but I try not to make it too difficult, especially when on the field. I don't want too much things running through my mind. In the receiver room or out on that practice field, I'm trying to work on any other move that I can get. I'm experimenting with, the other teammates, and if there's some things that they're better at, I'm like, hey, how you do that, stuff like that. But when it's time to like get in doke or just like an actual game, it's just all right. Just get open and catch the ball and just play football.
Okay.
All right, thank y'all. Appreciate you. Y'all too.